Good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday to you all. I am Coach Linda, and this is 100 Days of Purpose. And yesterday we were talking about how to get clarity in the midst of uncertainty. And we briefly talked about how we're in uncertain times right now, and many people are experiencing a lot of different emotions, a lot of different attitudes and behaviors. And sometimes that can get us stuck, right? Because we're looking for certainty. We want to go back to what we consider our norm, and we're trying to figure out how to get there. And so, where we left off yesterday is that we find ourselves questioning everything that we know to be true, right? We do things we would normally do, and we go to Google to do searches on things that we're thinking about. We're wondering, what if this, or I wonder if this, or am I this, or should I be doing this? And so we go to Google looking for answers, and we're always looking for answers on the outside of us. We never look within to find the answers. But in most cases, when we go to Google or Siri or Alexa or Cortana or whoever your AI is. Here's something I found on the web. According to Wikipedia. Stop. Alexa. Alexa, stop. So yeah. And then you get things where Alexa tries to. Alexa, stop. You start to wonder what's going on and what's happening. And we're live, and so stuff is gonna happen. So hopefully Alexa stops eavesdropping. Maybe I should stop saying her name, right? Okay. So, where was I? I digress. So we go to Google looking for answers for the questions that we have, and in most cases, going to Google is not helpful. One, you can go on the rabbit trail, right? And you start going into all of these areas, and you start, this website takes you to that website that takes you to this website that takes you to that website. And after a while, you're a million miles from where you started, and you're in some, alternate universe that you never intended on being, and you still don't have the answers to what you're actually looking for. Um, And the reason we cannot find the answers that we are seeking for is because the answer is really going to come from within you. It comes from your DNA that's already been placed in you. And I believe Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans, I know the thoughts I have concerning you, saith the Lord, right? And so he has a plan for you. And I believe that that plan was placed on the inside of you. And it's up to us to discover what that plan is. But many of us, because we're in this microwave generation, we have decided that we want it now. We want instant gratification. We have all of these computers and these smartphones and, laptops, desktops, uh, uh, the Echo shows and all of that. We have all of these things that give us instant gratification. We don't have to wait. I mentioned yesterday about the popcorn, how we used to pop it on the stove, and it was a process to get to the popcorn, right? And now the only way you could get that instant gratification was to go to the movie theater and have them pop it, and it's already popped for you, and they can put butter on it, blah, blah, blah. Now we have microwave popcorn where you can put it in there, and in 2 minutes, sometimes less than 2 minutes, you have a bag of popcorn. And so we look at that, we don't have to go through processes any longer. We have these things that shortcut us or shortcut the process time, and we are looking for that even in our lives. We have get rich quick schemes, and we have, we're always looking for that next big thing, lottery tickets and winning contests, because we want that instant gratification. And so we don't want to do the discovery of ourselves. We don't want to get into the discovery of ourselves. And this may leave us filled with uncertainty about our identity in ways we never thought before. Because if we don't get into the experiences of who we are, if we don't get into the experiences of understanding what we have to offer and how we can show up in the world and be better and do more, if we don't really understand that, then we can't truly become the people that we were supposed to be. Um, and so we have this cycle of fear. And I'm going to be talking about the cycle of fear once I finish this, but I kind of interjected this because we talked about overcoming fear, and then I was going to go into the cycle of fear. But I think that we have to understand where the fear comes from before we can understand the cycle and how to overcome it. So let's talk about that. We feel shame because we can't get ourselves from point A to point B. We also feel joy, and a sense of acceptance and accomplishment when we do finally figure it out, right? We sense those things. And when we can't get our minds wrapped around it, when we can't get our self to understand what is happening in our lives, we feel that shame, we feel that regret, that remorse, like we're missing out on something. um and so we need to get to the point where we're discovering who we are, so we can feel that joy of knowing that we are doing exactly what it is that we're supposed to be doing in this life, and that we're making the difference that we're supposed to be making in the world. And we seem to have an understanding that we've not come this far to miss out, or we've not come this far to lose out. We've come this, this is just a process into our next elevation, a process into our next uh, wave that we're going to evolve into. And so we have to understand that. And we need to find the missing links. We need to find the missing pieces. We need to be able to put the piece of the puzzle together by connecting all the pieces, connecting all the dots. Many of us will see a light um, when we have a aha moment. We see the light when we have an aha moment, but we will keep it to ourselves because we don't know how others will take it. We don't know how others in our lives will accept our information. And so we have this great thing that comes, and we have these aha moments, and we're afraid to share them with other people. We're afraid to tell our aspirations and hopes and desires with others, because if we share it, they may laugh at us, and they may talk about us, or they may try to do it themselves. And so we need to get past that if we're going to live a full life. We got to understand that when we get these aha moments, when we discover something about ourselves that makes us better, we need to share it, because that's what it's there for. It's to be shared with the world. And yes, some people will laugh. Yes, some people will mock. Yes, some people won't understand. Yes, some people will try to do it and beat you to the punchline. But you've got to understand that it's yours and yours alone. And even if they try to do it, they cannot do it the way that you do it. Hopefully that is making some sense to you. um because when we withhold these things, right, we start avoiding people's phone calls, emails, going to parties, hanging out with people. We become isolated, and we become adrift, or we start drifting apart, right? And we are anxious and uncertain about where it is. But listen, if we share the news with somebody, somebody may be able to give us a direction, may be able to give us some wisdom that we don't have, some knowledge that we don't have, so that we can accomplish what it is that we need to accomplish. So we do have to choose who we share it with, but we need to share it, okay? um because if we don't, again, we become anxious and uncertain, because we start tripping about what's going to happen, the what ifs, and and we just start spiraling into this darkness and this world of what if, and then we're stuck again, and we're dealing with uncertainty again, and we just had this aha moment that should have taken us to a place of certainty, but now we've caused that to even become uncertain. And so we've got to understand that when we get these moments, we need to share these moments with the right people so that we can get the right information, and we don't become enraptured about what strangers may say to us that we've never met. Okay, we don't get enraptured about what our friends think and what this and what that, and what if this person tries to steal it, or what if this person tries to do it, what if I tell somebody my business idea and they go out and try to start a business. They may be even successful at it, but they will not be able to do it the way that you do it. And I keep saying that because I want you to understand that even if somebody else is doing it, they can't do it the way you do it. They can't say what you can say. They haven't had the experiences that you've had. And so you still bring some uniqueness to the table. And you got to understand that you will see when anxiety hits home, we must go outside of ourselves to find the answers. Think back, think back to a time you were uncertain about something. You wanted to do something, you wanted to make a change, and you were just unsure and uncertain, and you couldn't see the pathway, right? You couldn't see how to get from point A to point B. Think about that time. And you may notice that a few times when you were in this area of insecurity, some interesting things and some interesting facts will start to pop up and start to reveal. And see, what I'm learning is that when you do self-reflection and self introspection, you start learning things about you that you just haven't even begun to even think about or try to imagine for yourself. And you'll start to see that this body and this mind have some wonderful capabilities, and you'll start to understand that there's so much on the inside of us. You just think about it. They keep exploring the galaxy and keep finding things, right? Those things have always been in the galaxy, but they were there for us to discover. They're there for us to explore. There's stuff on the inside of you that's always been there since you were born, that's there for you to explore and to discover, but you are so busy trying to keep your normality that you're forgetting that there is an extraordinary you on the inside of you. Okay. And so we got to get to the point where we need to find these interesting facts about ourselves. We need to discover these interesting facts about ourselves, because that's what's going to grow us up. That's what's going to mature us. That's what's going to take us from one level to the next level. That's what's going to get us to be the successful, accomplished people that we want to be, the people of purpose that we want to be, living strategically, intentionally, on purpose. That's what's going to get us there. That's what's going to help us take that sip of coffee. That's what's going to help us take that sip of tea. That's what's going to help us get where we want to be. This is what you said you wanted. Okay, if it's what you want, then discover it on the inside of you. It's not outside of you, it's inside of you. It's there. It's always been yours to have. Okay. So you're going to think about a time when you were uncertain, and you're going to start to notice these interesting facts. And what I found is that there are about 4 things that I can say everyone, I don't care who you are, what your nationality is, where your background take you, where your education is taking you or hasn't taken you, you will find that these things all show up. Okay. Um, and the reason is I've done it, and I've done it with my clients, and my clients have done it with their clients and or friends and or family and or you name it, stranger on the street, because like I told you, Sometimes I'm in the store by myself, just, doing my everyday stuff. And someone will say, hey, how you doing? And, maybe we're in a long line together and they'll start talking to us or talking to me. And then all of a sudden, they're telling me their life story, and here I am taking them through a process in the grocery line, waiting for Starbucks coffee, or just sitting down sipping on my macchiato. So we have got to understand that these opportunities are all around us, and the discovery of who we are. Sometimes we do need that outside force, but most times 99.99999 times, we can find the answers on the inside of us. So, number one, and then we're going to stop there. And tomorrow we'll pick up on 2, 3, and 4. How about that? Okay. And then we'll go into the cycle of fear, maybe the next day. So here we have number one is, when you think about the uncertain times and you're thinking about the process to get you to from uncertain to certain, you will find that your mind is hell bent on trying to lead you back into the future tripping of what if. Right? And I call it the future tripping of what if, because you're always talking about what if something happens. And I'm saying HAPPENS, not HAPPENED, happened. Okay? We're looking at what may happen, not what has happened or is happening. So our mind gets hell bent on thinking about the what ifs, the future what ifs. And it does this because it's convinced that the certainty would be found in thinking about the what if, what could happen, what may happen, what should happen. And the mind is constantly leading us away from the place we want to get to. What does that mean, Linda? Our mind in our future tripping what if mode is leading us away from certainty to uncertainty. So we're sitting in uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen. And then we start mind tripping and thinking, what if this happens? What if this? What if this? What if this? And we go down this rabbit hole. And the further we go down the rabbit hole, the further we get away from where we want to be, which is certainty. So we're trying to figure out, what if this happens? That may lead me to certainty. What if this happens? That may lead me to certainty. What if this happens? And all of these things are moving you away from certainty. It's moving you further into uncertain times. And so the first thing we've got to do is deal with the future tripping of what if. We've got to understand that when we are faced with a wall of uncertainty and we don't know what's behind, door number one, door number two, that's why those game shows are always so compelling, if you will, and they pull us in because we that's the way we think. What if I pick door number one? Ooh, that might be a new car. What if I pick door number two? Oh man, that might be a new house with a TV and a stereo, and and we get all excited. And what if I pick door number three? There may be nothing there. And what if I choose to take the wallet? Or what if I choose to take the envelope? Or what if I choose this? Or you know what? Maybe I'll take the envelope and then I'll give it back for door number one. And we start getting into that. And don't you see how that path is leading us further away from certainty? It's leading us further into uncertain times, because the more we come up with these alternate scenarios, the more scenarios we come up with. We're going to leave it there. I want you to think about that, because I'm giving you a little bit to chomp on. I'm giving you a little bit to think about, right? I know. You can thank me tomorrow. It'll be good. We're going to get through this because we're going to learn how to get clarity in uncertainty. And the first thing we got to stop doing is future tripping the what ifs. Okay? That's number one. I am Coach Linda. You be blessed, be encouraged. Know this, that only those that can see the invisible can achieve the impossible. So I double dog dare you to be exactly who you were meant and made and created to be. Just breathe. It's going to be okay. Just just be in the moment. It's going to be okay. I promise you. That last thing that you thought was going to be your devastation didn't take you out. And I guarantee you, this one won't either. It is what it is. Again, be blessed, be encouraged. This is 100 Days of Purpose. I am Coach Linda. And like I like to say, I'm out.